This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Hey, all the Bacholas, thank you so much for listening to the Men's Room Podcast.
And thanks to our pals at the Advocates Law Firm for being great partners. Yes, even you, creepy Kyle.
Seriously, though, if you had been injured as a result of somebody else in your car, on your bike, walking across the street, talk to our friends at the Advocates Law Firm and let them help you out.
Yeah, they're the best injury lawyers around, and they want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Plus, your first consultation is free.
It's simple. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
Part of a minute to drinking time.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. Today we toast 28-year-old Kyle Perez of St. Petersburg, Florida. Now, earlier this week, Kyle woke up his live-in boyfriend at 5 o'clock in the morning and just started screaming at him. Then he followed that up by grabbing his arm, punching him in the face, scratching him, and then finally pulling his hair. So police were called by neighbors, and when police showed up, Perez fled the scene on foot and hid behind a car nearby. Well, it didn't take them long to find him, and he was taken into custody without incident. He admitted to what he did. So, what led up to the early morning assault? Your typical stuff, the average argument that guys have with each other. Perez was upset that his now ex-boyfriend had no compassion for his desire for uncircumcised penises. You see, no, wait. You see, Perez is circumcised, and his ex showed no sympathy for his, and I quote, mutilated genitals. And it had been bugging.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Beat his ass.
Yeah, that's what it was about.
Beat his ass.
He wanted sympathy.
No.
Because he'd been circumcised.
If you're going to make fun of my penis, I'm going to beat your ass.
He didn't make fun of his penis.
Oh, he didn't?
No, the whole point is, Perez is upset that he was circumcised at birth.
Oh.
So his penis, quote unquote, is mutilated. His boyfriend, like most normal people, didn't care at all. So, yeah, he lost his mind because his boyfriend was not sympathetic to his, quote unquote, mutilated genitalia. I don't know the force gang can get people so worked up, but who am I? Now we know. Oh. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola, bichola! Okay, we got it.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
Sure can, Miles. Sorry, man. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Patrick. Welcome to the Men's Room. Hello, Patrick.
Hola.
Hola. All right, Patrick. You understand how this here game is played?
I do.
Fantastic. You have your choice of one of three stories. The Wonderful World of Drugs. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? And finally, Interior Decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone.
Gotta go interior decorating.
All right, here is your story. A man who went to a hospital complaining of stomach pains told doctors he had no idea what was causing them. Could it have been the object that he shoved up his butt? Turns out, yes.
Could have been.
X-rays showed the object. This is what I love. You go to the doctor and you know why your ass hurts because you put something there. And you're going to lie to the doctor
And you
saying,
tell them you have no clue.
knowing they're going to do an X-ray and say, here's the problem. And that's what they did. The X-ray showed the object lodged in the man's abdomen along with a curved piece of wire. Well, that curved piece of wire is something he'd use separate to try to fish the foreign object out in the first place. Right. So he lost both of these things up there. So he confessed to having stuck the object up his bottom at home and said he'd been unable to get it out. Doctors had to surgically remove the thing from his abdomen. According to the gastroenterologist, Dr. Andre Fedita, the object appeared to be lodged so far into the man that surgical means were the only way to get it out, saying, quote, "The wire was of no use. It would only cause damage, maybe even perforate the colon. The only way to get it out was to open up the column and remove the object surgically." And eventually it was removed, and the man was sent home after a couple of days. But the question is, what did he shove up the derriere? Was it a toothbrush, a shampoo bottle, a light bulb, or a roll of quarters? So toothbrush, shampoo bottle, light bulb, or a roll of quarters?
Does it say if it was an electric toothbrush?
I cannot give you that information, of course, because that would be a dead giveaway to what the object was.
Miles, what are you thinking?
I know he's not putting a roll of quarters up there because, you never know when you're going to need a quarter. And that's a weird place to grab change from.
Yeah.
I'll go light bulb. Why not?
We'll leave the light on for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, let's go toothbrush then.
Toothbrush.
Okay.
The sense I'm getting from you, Patrick, is that if you were to insert a toothbrush into your anus, it would have to be electric.
It would have to be electric.
You know what? Sadly, I agree with you.
It has been my experience listening to this segment to always go with the biggest, most absurd thing. So I'm going with the shampoo bottle.
Shampoo bottle for Ryan. Okay. and Patrick, you're going to stick with the toothbrush as the final answer, correct?
Yeah, toothbrush, final answer.
We'll figure out what he forgot he put up there. Was it a toothbrush, a shampoo bottle, a light bulb, or a roll of quarters next?
That was a tease.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Yeah, hey, how are you? Categories interior decorating on profile. Let's get a man. He had stomach pains. Probably didn't understand why he had stomach pains.
No, he did.
So he went to the hospital to ask the doctor, why do you think I have stomach pains? The doctor said, it looks like you jammed something up your anus.
Yeah, we got that.
Oh, I did do that. I forgot. Then I tried to get it out and shoved it up further. So the question is, was it a toothbrush, a shampoo bottle, a light bulb, or a roll of quarters?
And Patrick, that is the very question that we posed to you. Let us start with our very own Miles Montgomery. Miles, you went light bulb? Oh, I'm afraid it was not a light bulb.
I thought we were bringing good things to light.
No. Patrick, you went toothbrush, specifically electric toothbrush, but we're not here to split hairs. Unfortunately. And Patrick, not just an electric toothbrush, but you want a water pick.
No way.
My logic is sound.
Oh, you got 50-50 on this.
And then Ryan Castle, you went with the shampoo bottle.
You gotta be kidding me.
You are correct.
You gotta be kidding me.
My experience listening to this segment, you always pick the biggest, most absurd thing.
Unbelievable.
What do you think he used? Head and Shoulders? Dove?
I don't know. I cannot believe a shampoo bottle.
A shampoo bottle. But he wasn't sure why his stomach hurt, see? Mm-hmm. And the doctor's like, oh, you know what? It's probably the shampoo bottle in your ass. All right. And the wire. Now for all TV news all time for TV Time with 10.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Oh, look out! He keeps popping up in his living room. Mike Hawk.
I'm everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
With his Christmas lights around his window.
With my Christmas light. That is really bothering you, isn't it, Miles? That I have just these little... That's right, it's ambient. It's great.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So, obviously, with all the time that I've got to myself here, I'm going to be catching up on a handful of different shows. I'm going to tell you guys one that I did binge watch here recently. It comes to us from Disney Plus. It's one of the latest in the Marvel franchise, Moon Knight.
I have not finished. I got through the first 3 episodes. I have 3 episodes left. I have not seen the last 3. Do not ruin this for me.
Okay. It is a fun show. Would you agree with me that basically like a lot of these new Marvel miniseries that they've got coming out, muscle through the first episode.
For sure. For sure.
Like everything else, they have to set who the characters are, what's going on, the situation everybody's in. I know that you know it, but in the spirit and taste of making a good show, you have to give it its day. You have to take a minute and have that episode that explains everything. And then the first episode ends where you finally get to see the Moon Knight himself.
Yep, that's it.
And away we go. So it is a fun show. It's your classic Marvel. It still has a ton of fun little comedy in it. It's got great action in it. It's got a well-done story. I don't know if this is going to be prominent in their next phase, if you will, because it seems to be the thing with Marvel is that they go through different phases where we're introducing all these heroes. They eventually are going to team up, and there's going to be some common foe that they're going to have to take on.
Okay. I think they got to. You're right. I don't know that he'll be featured prominently, but you got to bring him in because you gave him a 6-part miniseries.
You're watching the show. Is this season 1?
It's one season only. Okay. So it's 6 episodes. That's all they're going to do as of right now. But yeah, me and my son started watching it, and we both enjoy it. It's
great.
It's a little more cerebral than your average Marvel offering, but it's still,
it gets worse.
No, Mike.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay.
I have a question for you. As far as how you digest your television, I have this weird rule. I cannot watch more than 3 shows at the same time. Now, I know if you go back to the early days of television, whatever came on Monday night, you watch. Whatever came on Tuesday, and it rolls.
Yeah, you spaced it out,
and it rolls.
But now you can binge it all at once.
Exactly. So a week goes by, you're still watching that show on each night. But
agreed.
Not all of them roll over into the next episode. That's not kind of how they did TV. You did different episodes. Or they could stand on their own. So my rule is I don't pick up a new show until I'm done kicking out one of the 3 shows that I'm watching, if that makes sense. So I need to get through a show before I bring another one in. I feel like it just gets too convoluted.
It's like a relationship.
Well,
there's just too much going on.
Right.
I gotta get done with this one.
I forget. I got to pick back up on Ted Lasso, or I should start watching the Pirate Show again.
Right.
On HBO.
This is our flag.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Our flag means death.
Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, we've been watching it at home.
It's fantastic.
It's okay. My wife is more enthusiastic about it than I am. She keeps trying you love this.
She likes T-Rex.
It's fine. It's fine.
So what would you say are your 3 shows that you guys are watching right now?
Well, the problem is that Ozark is in that cachet of mine.
Sure.
And there's a lot of seasons, so I go and I watch 1 or 2. So that's always game on. I did finish. Oh God, what did I finish the other night? Oh, the Pam and Tommy thing.
Okay, how did that end up? I still haven't started.
I'm not going to tell you. You know how it ends up.
Fair.
Right.
Yeah, fair enough.
Tommy's drunk and Pam goes on to move to Vancouver Island. I don't know.
I love you, baby. You rip.
God.
I love you, baby.
And then the other show that I picked up, it's been recommended several times. I finally quit resisting it and I tried it out. It's over on Hulu. It's called Letterkenny. Now, I showed you guys the opening scene of the very first episode.
Yes.
It hits the ground running.
Mike, I love Letterkenny. I'm so glad you
love
brought this
Letterkenny.
up. I love Letterkenny.
It is very much your humor, Ryan.
It's very Canadian.
It is.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
it's Canadian rednecks, but it's fantastic. It's so good.
It's basically like if you took Napoleon Dynamite, took him to Canada, and sped him up like about twice as fast.
But you don't like Napoleon Dynamite.
No, I don't. That's why I like Letterkenny, because the jokes in Napoleon Dynamite were funny-ish, but they were so few and far between and so slow in between them that Letterkenny is just this machine gun style. Just I had a word for it, and I forget what I used for it, but it just is rapid fire, man.
The thing you showed us the other day was awesome,
guys. It's so funny. It's Canadian rednecks on public access. That's the best way I can describe it. It's so fantastic. It's so fantastic. It's so funny.
And there's different groups that it follows. Now, you do have your main group of Hicks, which is kind of the epicenter of the show. But then there's common groups that come in. There's the 2 hockey jerks that you guys saw at the very beginning.
Yeah, was that episode 1?
Yes.
It was. So that's how it starts.
That is how it opens up.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm hooked. I'm good then. I'll watch that next. Yeah.
I downloaded that and I watched it on the plane. I was like, okay, I'm sold. I'm in. And then there's also there's the goth group that's in there as well. Ryan, help me out. There's one more group that I can't remember. I don't remember.
There are there's the Native American folks.
Correct.
From the
Wouldn't they be Canadians?
And they are Canadians as well. Yeah. You got the goth kids. There's the people at the bar, the chick at the bar.
Yes. Oh my God, the thirsty chick at the bar.
She's so thirsty.
Well, and what's great is that there's a lot of jokes that happen in each and every episode. It's the same line almost, which, back to the Family Guy method, it's funny as long as you continue to say the same thing over and over.
If it's not funny, keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Until it's
and that's
funny.
exactly what they do.
Welcome to my world.
So, Letterkenny, check it out on Hulu. If you're apprehensive, if you're on the fence, quit. Drop one of your 3 shows right now. Watch the first episode. Watch the first 5 minutes. If you don't like it, shoot me a nasty email. It is a hilarious show. I'm sticking.
You don't
with
even
it.
need to say that. They will.
That's right. I'm 4 episodes in, and now that I got some time to myself, I'm going to be a few more. Switching gears here, the MTV Movie and TV Awards is going to air not this coming Sunday, but Sunday, June the 5th at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Spider-Man No Way Home leads with 7 nominations, including Best Movie.
Well, of course, it's MTV. So as far as that goes, if you're an actor, I mean, look, if you win any award, you're going to feel good. But, like, is the MTV one they care about?
Well, it seems more like a People's Choice for young people.
But definitely skews young. But even like People's Choice Award, to give you an idea, you always know who's going to win because they're the only people that are there, right? So when they like show you who's in the audience, if that person's been nominated, they're going to win. And it tells me that most actors or musicians, whatever it is, don't care. Right? The Oscars, they all show up. They don't know.
Well, as far as your career longevity goes, so McDonald's does really well with kids.
Exactly.
And it starts early. So if you win a People's Choice Award, or I'm sorry, a
MTV, whatever.
Nickelodeon Award,
sure.
MTV, like, that just basically says you're going to be able to do this for a really, really long time.
It skews,
if a 15-year-old likes you.
It skews super young. Like, you're not going to see Anthony Hopkins at the MTV.
No.
Yeah,
exactly. The people that like Korn when they were 15 still like Korn now.
Right.
People like Zeppelin when they were 12 still like Zeppelin now. So that's a very formative year period.
I will say when it comes to Spider-Man No Way Home, I've already seen it twice. I love it. I think it's one of the best movies that Marvel has put out here recently. I'm a huge fan. It's up for Best Movie along with Dune. I didn't see that one, Mr. Hill. You said that you watched it.
Yeah, I did. I liked it, but I'm that guy.
Did they kind of condense the time of it so it wasn't like the original?
No. So they did the movie Dune. That is a tough movie to make based on what the book was, how involved it is, etc. So Dune purists, of course, are going to hate it.
Dune's that thick.
Right, because you're still under the impression that you can make a movie that incorporates every thought in the book. Like, it doesn't matter the book you read. The movie's never going to own up, right? It's just not. The other thing about books, we have the luxury of being omniscient with most books. Like, I know what the character's thinking. And then when you do a movie, like, they have to have dialogue to explain where their process is. Anyway, I thought it was exceptionally well done. They're making a second one, which I believe those 2 movies will encapsulate, for the most part, the entire book.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
Was the original a 2-movie bit as well?
No, it was one long movie.
One long, really bad, weird movie.
Yeah.
They tried then. I don't think they could
No one really understood what was happening with the original one. That was more the thing. The big sales pitch there was that Sting was in it.
Yeah, the whole soundtrack was The Police.
And didn't they spend like a crap ton of money on that movie just for it to flop that bad?
Yes,
like,
they
it's one
did.
of the biggest box office flops.
They used to throw out like Dune, Waterworld. There were like a number of Ishtar.
Right, all these kinds of
we
things.
spent all this money and nothing happened.
But see, that's why I'm glad the guy remade Dune, right? Because most of the time do people remake movies, and I've always made this argument, right? Most of the time when you remake a movie, it was a movie that was already successful. Well, that's stupid. The movie was already good. Yeah. You redoing it, you know, it's the equivalent of our cover band, right? The difference is we don't go on a world tour and say, look what we've done. It's like, right, it's somebody else's stuff. Mm-hmm. So at least with Dune was a flop. So this guy took the time to say, here's a movie that crashed and burned tragically. I have the balls to try to do it right, as opposed to taking a movie you already like and making it again, which to me is stupid.
Do you know why?
Which you would think
do you know why people remake movies?
Money.
Because they make money.
Yeah, it's easy.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. That's absolutely right.
And hopefully this will spur that trend of people remaking movies that at least should have been good but were bad. You know what I mean?
But in theory, shouldn't that be every movie? Right? If it was a bad movie, deep down, even Human Centipede,
okay,
you go like, okay.
Do Ben and J-Lo go back and go like, let's redo Geely.
They don't know. But someone should remake it.
Kevin Smith can't make that movie. Someone else has to.
That's what I'm saying. You go, hey,
we got this.
This movie sucked. It flopped, but man, we're telling you, this is good. We're going to remake it.
Spielberg comes in and makes it.
Right, exactly.
Miles, I'm going to tell you right now. Kenzie and I were sitting here. We're like, what movie do we watch? Let's watch a bad movie. We brought up Geely. I did not realize that it was not just. I'm an apologist when it comes to a lot of cinema. Geely was a horrible movie.
Look, back to what Steve is saying. Remake it.
Then remake it.
You guys are friends now. Like, don't remake, as Steve would say, the movies that are
Burn that
classic.
script. The dialogue was awful. Everything about that movie was
awful.
awful.
Don't try to redo Pulp Fiction. Go back and
it's already been done.
Pick a turd.
It's already good.
And try to shine it.
Also along for best movie was Scream. I didn't see this new one here. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That's another Marvel film that I thought was okay.
I enjoyed it.
I liked it. The Adam Project, which is over there on Netflix.
I saw that recently.
Because it's got my boy Ryan Reynolds in it, but I canceled my Netflix not terribly long ago, so I still have not seen it.
I saw that with the kids. My son, Ryan Reynolds, is his guy, right? That period, across the board. If you ask my kid who's your favorite actor, it is Ryan Reynolds instantly. And it is a movie. It's fine. It's good. I understand why my kids loved it. Ryan Reynolds plays the same role Ryan Reynolds always plays, so you can't help but like him. But the movie itself, it was all right. It was all right.
And then also The Batman shows up there for best movie, which I still haven't seen it. Maybe now that I got some time to myself, I'll finally sit through that 3 hours.
Good. It does not need to be that long. There was never a point where I was even bored, but it's still like, this does not need to be.
Do you have to pay for it? In other words,
right now it's on HBO Max, so no.
Okay.
Yeah, they're giving it out free right now. So actually, the reason I
it.
watched it, I saw that it was out. I didn't realize it was already out on cable or whatever, streaming. Who the hell knows? But I hit the thing to see how much it's going to cost. It said free. I'm like, don't mind if I do. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times, they give it to you free for like a month, and then if you wait longer than a month, thinking it's still free, suddenly it costs money. Yeah. So I said, I'm getting this done now.
Mm-hmm. There you go. As far as the best show, top dog right now is Euphoria, which I know is hugely popular right now.
My wife watches that because
promoting drug use.
Man, if anyone watches Euphoria and says, you know what I want to do? Drugs. You really miss the point of that.
So you should show this to high school students.
Yeah, you'd be like, this is reality.
Or rehab.
It does not, they keep saying glorified. It's like, no, they're showing it, but it's like saying train spotting glorified heroin. Like,
It works both ways. So I read Nikki Sixx's books, right? And it could work both ways. You could go, well, I'm never going to do drugs, or you could go, well, I'm not that bad.
Yeah.
Or you could go, that sounds crazy. I should try that.
He seems to be having fun.
Mm-hmm. He's in a closet.
Also up for best show was Inventing Anna, which I don't know that I've heard of that one.
Never heard
Loki, that's also a Marvel show. Squid Game over there on Netflix, which that's a throwback.
Still haven't seen it.
Great for the kids.
You saw that, right, Mike?
You still haven't seen that?
No.
Now you should watch
Man,
it.
It is one of the few dubbed shows that I actually truly enjoyed watching. I don't like to read when I watch. I either want to read a book or watch a show. I watched Squid Game. It was a great show.
Yeah, I read that.
You read Squid Game?
I read it. It's great. Ted Lasso also shows up there, and also Yellowstone, our buddy Kevin
People love
Costner.
that. Yeah, people love that show.
They really, really do.
If you're looking for something to watch tonight, Halo, I believe, has a new episode over there on Paramount Plus. Mr. Hill, are you still watching that one? Did you give that one a shot?
It's funny. Somebody told me, dude, check out Halo just today. And I think I got 3 episodes deep. I kind of watch it as my mindless watching. It's better than I give it credit for. I'm just having a hard time really, really getting into it.
I made it through 2 episodes.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, it's not bad. There's just something lacking where it can't quite keep my attention, but it's not a bad show.
I've heard from fans of the game that it does not follow the Master Chief near as much as it should. Like, they dropped the ball when it came to it. Like, Halo fans have been looking for a show for a long time, and it sounds like they dropped the ball on this one, but they got a new episode out. Late night tonight, you got Jimmy Fallon. He's going to be hosting Post Malone with Howie Mandel. And also, just for you guys, check out James Corden. I know that he's coming towards the end here, but he's going to have Nicey Nash as well as Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, no way! Oh, they just announced the tour today. I was so excited. You have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
You probably do.
Check out James Corden.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. Coming up, headlines. You are listening to The Men's Room.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Men's Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Florida man kills his buddy while pulling him in an inner tube at a bank parking lot. Meanwhile, a Twitch streamer teaches cooking lessons and appears to like her kitchen very hot. Fire chief in Japan starts a forest fire as a wasp he tried to kill. Authorities in France warn about a deer who are imbibing in the swill. And a father shoots at a turkey, realizes it's really his teenage son. It's time for your headlines.
It's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cock.
Lovely world of the internet, where a woman tried to live stream for her fans. The woman had a pretty sophisticated setup as she held her subathon from inside of her kitchen, where she planned on making a delicious meal for all of her followers to watch and enjoy. Unfortunately, she was a little way into the video when out of nowhere, a plume of smoke erupted from one of the pans on the stove, as well as flames that began to billow from the same source. She removed the pan from the heat source and moved it to a safer location, suffering only minor burns to her hand. And honestly, she was lucky that that's all that she got, just because that was a grease fire that she was dealing with there.
Yeah,
and
she took it to the sink.
Yeah.
Yes. She started with the sink, and she kind of jerked it for half a second. It splashed a handful there into the sink as well as onto the counter, and then she moved it over to the stove. So kudos to her for having the wherewithal. Of course, the reaction is to go to the water, but then once she realized, not relocate.
That's what people meant.
Right.
How about a towel?
Yes. How about some baking powder? In other news, speaking of fires, we head to Japan where someone just wanted to get rid of some pests. A local groundskeeper was out in a grassy area cleaning up the area when he was confronted by a swarm of stinging insects. He was so flustered by the bugs that he pulled out a road flare and attempted to ward off the insects, only to toss it at the swarm itself, landing the flare right on the dry grass. The area ignited and crews spent about 30 minutes putting out the blaze.
And
So
this is the fire chief.
Yes.
Decided
really?
to break
That was the
out.
fire chief?
He was the fire chief and broke out like a road flare or whatever it was. Like everything that any fire department would tell you not to do to combat bees or wasps, that's what he did.
Dry ass grass that they got out there. You're pulling out a freaking road flare. Wow. Good work. Good work. Some good news, and out of Florida, of all places, a woman unfortunately suffered a medical emergency while she was driving through an intersection and lost control of her car. A coworker noticed her having some issues and ran into traffic to help, waving down other good Samaritans who wasted no time in stepping in. They were able to break into the car, steer it to the side of the road, and a medical professional was able to give her aid until medical crews arrived.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
You didn't see the follow-up on how she was doing, so I'm glad she's okay. Same with the pilot that was incapacitated with the guy, the passenger, landed the plane.
No, there's a difference. There's a difference.
Well, I haven't heard anything in their condition.
Right. There's something wrong with you driving. I see this. I'm here to help you. I'm on the plane, and you're the pilot, and you go down. It's like, again, on my list of priorities, you're number two.
I understand that. I didn't hear an update on the driver or the pilot. So I was like,
I am curious about
those
the pilot.
people okay, you know.
An outing between a father and son turned into an emergency situation in Vermont. The pair were out on a hunting trip specifically for turkey. They managed to find their target and were able to fire at the animal, but only managed to wound it. Being good sportsmen, they tracked down the animal to finish their work, but in the process, the father accidentally shot his son instead of the turkey.
Okay, so he didn't mistake his son for a turkey. The gun just went off and he ended up hitting his son.
I believe so, yes.
Okay, when I first saw the headline, I'm like, what does your son look like?
Big plume of feathers right on the back of his head.
What is your cat doing?
He's getting in the way, as he normally does. The son suffered non-life-threatening injuries and an investigation is underway. He showed me his rusty sheriff's badge.
Apparently.
Why do cats insist on doing that? When my dog walks over, like my dog, if I sit on the sofa, the dog walks over and this dog stares at me until a rubber belly, do whatever. The cat, when the cat comes over to me, it's the backside, like a cyclops.
Yeah, exactly. And it's always right at eye level, too.
Yeah.
But that is it for your headlines. And with that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it, man. Good getting the tour of your home. Thanks so much, Mike. VD, thank you.
Pleasure.
Ryan, thank you. We appreciate it. Men's Room Happy Hour is up next. Dirty Big Dummy on the way.
Yes, indeed. Well, in the meantime, we be all about this pitch for 180 seconds or so, but don't count. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.